Alright, here we go. In this video, why don't I see video? Looks very black. Should not be black. It should be... Let's see. Properties. Okay. It doesn't look black. There we go. There we go. And there we go. Alright. So, doing something a little different here for me tonight. I decided that I wanted to model the Starship in Solidworks and have a chatty tutorial about it. And just do it live. So, eventually I intend to print it. I did download a model that was pretty good a week or so ago, and I printed it and it was cool. A couple issues with it is that there were no joineries for it that I saw. I didn't read the instructions, and there was sort of a pocket in each part, like if I wanted to use glue, I guess. I generally tend to use, when I want to join prints, I tend to print joinery pins, and so it snaps together. And I'll put a corresponding hole in each part, and I'll tend to do it that way. It was a nice model, but like the heat tiles weren't modeled. It was just kind of black and silver, and I'm not trying to diss it at all. It was a very nice model, but I just thought I would do my own, and I'll do a newer version, and I'll kind of do it my way, and I'll also I'll have a parametric model. So as you can see here, as you can see here, we have Flight 3, Starship 2, Starship version 3, and the sizes change and the positions of the flaps change, and I just want to make my own because I think it'd be fun and it'll be interesting content potentially, and so that's what I figure I'll do. And I was debating, should I do it in Solidworks, should I do it in Rhino, especially with the heat tiles. Potentially Rhino might be better for that, using Grasshopper, but because they're all the same size, then it's probably just going to be easier to do it in SolidWorks. So I decided I'll just do it in SolidWorks. And so I'm going to create a new part. And of course, if you have any comments, feel free, or questions, feel free. And so let's make a sketch on the XZ plane. And so this thing is huge, and I don't know if I want to model it full scale. I mean, it's like 9 meters in diameter. I want to say the thing's like 400 feet tall or something with the booster. And I'll probably do the orbital launch mount, the OLM, also at some point. And I'm really going to start very simple and gradually add detail. So I will probably start with the orbital launch mount. Let's hit N for... It's funny how things annoy me. That annoys me. I want to say that the top of the orbital, the OLM, is at the top, at the origin, right? And then we'll say the ship is like this, the booster, and then the ship will be like this, right? And then there will be a spline like this, and we'll make these guys tangent. And I'm just laying out very rudimentary geometry right now. Like I said, I'm going to start super primitive, and I'm just going to work my way up in detail. I think I can make this perpendicular to this. It seems like sometimes it lets me, yeah, okay. In the past I've sort of put a line there and made a tangent, but don't generally need to. So if this thing is, how tall, let me go back to my image here. And so it's saying, I'm going to say Starship version 2 because that's coming up soon. Flight 4, you know what, I guess I'll do Flight 3 for now, and then I'll modify it later. I hope there's not too much background noise. I'm working on a high-end laptop with a lot of cooling, and the fan sound doesn't annoy me. It's actually kind of soothing, breezy, through the trees kind of sound. It's not like a harsh noise. But with this particular microphone, which is the DJI, those expensive little wireless DJI microphones, it picks up the fan noise for some reason. I also have a headset that picks up the fan noise less, but the quality of the sound on the headset, it sounds kind of muffled. And whereas this microphone, I think, sounds not muffled. So I'm going to go with this microphone. Anyway, so let's say flight test 3. So booster height 71 meters, ship height 50.3. Okay, so booster height 71 meters. And this should scale up. When I say 71 meters, everything should scale. Yeah. And I should change my unit to meters, shouldn't I? Meters, kilograms, second. There we go. Got me out of the sketch to do that. Interesting. All right. And so then the ship, it said 50.3. 50.3. Okay. And for now, I'm just going to say 0.001 between these and 0.001 between these. Basically a millimeter in between them, which in practice it'll actually be like a thousandth of a millimeter between them. But just to differentiate them. So now if I do a revolve, it won't choke on that because it shouldn't choke. Whoa, what happened? What happened there? I don't know what happened there. I'm just going to do some undoing. There we go. And 50.3. Oh, so for whatever reason, doing that did weird things. So I was thinking about this actually. So I'm going to do this right now. I like before I even started this, I was thinking that how I'll handle this losing its shape. But first, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make a center line, and I'm going to tell it that this is 9 meters. Might not be exactly 9. Well, that's unexpected. Right? It's 9 meters, right? Diameter? And I am in meters. Alright, so here's another strategy I intended to use. And I'm going to back up to before that. Sketch, and on the same plane, which is what? XZ plane, I'm going to create a rectangle. And so the overall height according to this graphic, which looks to be an official SpaceX graphic, the overall height is 121.3. So I'm going to make this 121.3. All right. And I'm going to make this a surface. And I'm just checking out my analytics. And, so one person watched for like 2 minutes. It's amazing. Anyway, that's fine. So I'm going to apply that image So I need to save that image to my desktop. Save image as screenshots. JPEG. Okay. And then I'm going to apply that image to this face. And I need to go advanced and then browse and screenshots and all image files and JPEG, and then tell it to yes, save that. And I probably can't scale that. I can scale it, but I can't move it, so I have to change the mapping to projection. I guess I could do surface. I could do projection. Alright, I guess I'll do surface. Alright, so surface I guess doesn't let me move it. So projection will let me move it around, but it flipped it around. And so let's say fixed aspect ratio correct. Let's put an angle on it of 90. And then let's mirror it horizontally. It's kind of goofy the way that works out. And so this should basically line up with this height, right? And so I'm gonna have to, that's about right. It doesn't have to be exact, but it's nice that SpaceX furnished me with this nice accurate to scale non-perspective drawing. Now the more that I think about that, that's super convenient for me. So that's basically that. Now I could have sworn that the diameter of the Starship was 9 meters. And alright, so I'm going to get out of here, and so I assume this is going to be to scale from SpaceX. And it's thinking really hard. I think I'll save my work. Whenever it thinks really hard like that, it reminds me to save my work. I hope it finishes thinking really hard. Alright then. Any day now will be nice. I feel like it's going to not let me down. Doesn't mean it's true. Alright then. Come on, Solidworks. Not extremely compelling video at the moment. Alright. Bear with me. Still thinking? It seems... Alright then. That took a while. Alright, so let's roll back to the end. And... Oh, I see. Okay. So here's my plan. What I want to do with that, I want to save that as a block, and that will preserve its shape at least. Then I can scale it down, and then I can. What did that? I'll make it a block. Let's try that again. Make block. All right, so that is now a block. All right, so now if I tell this is 0.01. All right, and yeah, I guess that is about right. So I will make these two collinear, and I want to delete that block, and so that should allow that. And then I'm just gonna hide this guy. So now that I know that the Wow, wait a minute. Interesting. So this line needs to be way like up here. Approximately. That looks like about where it curves in. Alright, and then I'm going to paste this block. And the scale of it is way too big. So something like that. And I will do something like that. Interesting. I'm pretty far off there. But so anyway, so my plan. Let me sort of reposition this image. Adjust the mapping. Technically, that looks good. And okay. Thankfully, it didn't take all day like before. And so, did I explode this block? I need to explode this block. Looks like it's still a block. It is. Explode block. And let's move this guy up to here. And grab this guy and Control Shift P is my shortcut for show spline control points. Alright. Something like that. Whoa. I want to undo that. So it accidentally grabbed like some kind of handle. Let me make this tangent first of all, because it would be. What? I don't know what it was talking about right there. Tangent. Okay, that's better. And then this guy. So I'm not sure exactly what the shape this curve would want to be. It's not super precise. This is very fuzzy. Perpendicular. And looks like this goes out a little bit more. And then it's very pointy. As Elon described in the Joe Rogan video. The latest Joe Rogan interview, which was quite a while ago. He talks about the movie The Dictator, why he made it pointy. That looks... Probably delete a control point there. I'm going to delete that control point. Too many control points make for ugly curves. Maybe I want another control point up here. Add, insert spline point. There we go. There we go. Very pointy. Nice. Alright. That's looking okay. And this line is blue. Should be black. So let's call that collinear there. And this guy also collinear. Alright. And now, if I revolve it, oops, wrong key. Not B for balloon. I want V for revolve. And bam, look at, we got a Starship. Winner. Alright, we have officially started. So let me bring that reference image back. Where'd you go? There it is. And so I want to put my flaps. Now the flaps, I think the flaps are not right on that plane. But what I can do is, how do I handle that? I could just draw them on that plane to start, and then eventually move them around. I think I'll do that. Now, what I was thinking about doing. So I think they're off this plane somewhere. So let's get out of here. Let's create a plane off this plane and call it, I'll have to verify this later. I can always move this plane back to right on this plane. And so I'm going to call this, let's say 5 meters off. Let's say 3 meters off. Alright, and flip offset, and it's there. That's probably too much. It's probably more like 2. Alright, and from here, I will make a sketch. Alright, and it will be like this, like that, and that's evidently cants in like downward like that, and basically like this, and like this, and like this, and I'm not sure exactly what's going on over here. What I was thinking though, yeah, let me do this. I'm going to split line and intersect this with this and this. I hate when I do that. That's what I meant to do. Alright. And so now I have this line here. And so I'm going to back up to before this. I always debate how to do this, and I usually do it differently every time. Because I don't want those split lines to be on the actual model, because that can mess me up later. So I guess I'll just copy the body. That's what I usually end up doing. I'm just going to copy this body. I could also offset face. That's my dilemma. I could offset faces to 0, or I could copy the body, and just copying the body is easier. So now if I go roll back to before the copy body, then I hide this guy, then I'll have it for later. And then I show the body, and then I know that my split line, so right now it's cutting the original body, but I'm going to delete those and do this. And so now I have these edges, and I'm going to just, for the sake of making things easier to see, I'll just delete these faces. So now I have basically where my hinge points are going to be. And this guy, I'm going to slide this back to here, right? And so now I know I can put my hinge points relative to that curved surface. So, not sure exactly how this is going to play out, but what I'm going to do for now is just extrude this mid-plane, give it don't merge it, give it a thickness of it's probably 6 inches thick. So I'm converting units here. So like 6 inches would be 4 inches would be 100 millimeters, so 150 millimeters. Let's call it 150 millimeters. So 150 millimeters is going to be 0.15, right? 0.15. It's probably thicker than that. 0.3. Alright, we have a flap. Let's get rid of these guys and turn this guy on. We have a flap. And what I can do, and I'm going to have to look at images, how they exactly work, but I figure, let me go back to here, I figure now I have that surface, and so I know that I'm just going to draw let's draw a sketch here, and I know that my hinge line basically needs to be tangent to this, right? And so it could be anything like this. The line of the hinges, I was going to say 2 hinges, but there could be more than 2 hinges. But so basically I'm going to extrude cut thin, whatever, and change the direction and call this, I mean, 0.01 millimeters, that's a centimeter. Maybe that's right. We'll call that good enough. And I'm basically going to cut this guy at that point, right? And there'll be a hinge in there eventually, and there'll be contours on there eventually. But for now, I think I want there. Yep. And I am going to mirror that here. Mirror these two guys. Yep. Bodies. Those two guys, and don't merge. And there we go. And I'm going to show this. I'm going to, okay, those are already hidden, and I'm going to show this guy. And look at that. We're working on it. Right? So there's my Starship. There's my booster. There's my OLM. And let me do, I'm trying to quit. Let me do at least the other fin. For now, I'm going to assume that both fins, where's the other fin? Oh, up here, are on the same plane. Therefore, I can use the same sketch. So I basically just need to am I straight on? No. 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 Interesting. I'm just trying to get straight on. There we go. Do it the manual way. Alright, and so let's do another fin. I mean, it looks like it does this. And this. And this, and we'll just pretend it does that. Alright, so now, ooh, this might not go far enough. Okay, it does. Or does it? Did I not split that guy? No, it goes far enough. Okay. And I'm going to edit this mirror. And do that. And so now I have some flaps. And these obviously won't be square edged. They will be much more aerodynamically shaped. So I can just quickly throw some radii in here. And needs to be much bigger. Let's say call it 0.5. Yeah, that's good enough for now. I don't know why it says I'm low on resources. Whatever. I have a lot of resources in this computer. Oh, it already is a radius. And so then I'm going to do another radius here. And we're going to call it 0.1. Sure. What? Oh, I trimmed it. I trimmed it. But anyway, so what I want to do here is I don't want these circular. And this is probably not even a great... Geez, I wonder, so they won't have an aerofoil shape because it doesn't need to create lift, just looking to create drag. But I I don't want it circular. I don't think. I think it's more like conic radius. Whoa, didn't like that. How about conic row? Conic row looks happier. And so see what I'm... Whoa, that got a little too crazy. And I think I want to do a asymmetrical. How to... It doesn't like that for... Why doesn't it want me to do... See, I'm trying to uncheck symmetric. You? Symmetric. Asymmetric. 0.5 and 0.1. Alright, let's see what happens. Point 2. Point 1. Point 2. No. Point 1. And then this one. 1. No. Point 2. Okay. Let me do that. Alright then. So that's kind of cool. Let's do it on both sides. Oh, that one's opposite. Is it going to let me? Nice. Alright then. Let me do that. And that guy. That's funny that that one didn't reverse and it actually let me do that. Okay. So this is a much happier shape for my fin. But I want it before I trim that. So I'm going to drag that down. Oh, yeah, no, that's fine because I want to mirror it. Drag down the mirror also. And drag this down to before the mirror. And so now you can see now this radius, or it's not a radius, now this fillet goes to this, beyond the split. Right? And let's do a circular here. This one is going to be symmetrical. And circular. That's actually not bad. Alright then. And let's move the mirror again to beyond it. And it's, I also need similarly here. Alright then. Again, move the mirror beyond it. And now we have much more aerodynamic fins. I imagine they're tapered. Just knowing how structural shapes work, they're probably thinner at the tip than they are at the hinge. But I'm not sure of that, and I'm going to call that good enough for now. And so before I stop, I want to put some heat tiles on it. And that means I need to split the surfaces. So I'm going to grab another plane here. And go that way, and we'll just call 3 as good enough. And we'll again do a split line. And like this, and like this, and like that. And then I can make this guy. I mean, I can just call it plastic for now. Let's call it low gloss plastic. And like so, and edit that. Then I can just apply it to this guy, and I can also apply it to bodies, and that way I can apply it to this guy, and this guy, and this guy, and this guy, and that, and that. Alright, and while I'm at it, I might as well make everything stainless steel. Steel, polished steel, and the whole part. Alright, look at that. Not a bad start. We have a Starship, and it's to scale. we are. Why don't I see the Starship dimension? That's weird. I thought I dimensioned that. I think it said this was 50.3. 50, yeah, close enough. 50.3. I don't know why that dimension wasn't there, but now it's there. All right, we have a Starship. Hello. All right, now I really need to add. I need engines, man. Engines. Although they're hidden in here, aren't they? So you can't really see. Ah, but there's no. There's no. What do they call it? The hot staging ring. There's no hot staging ring. So this image must be old. Where is that image? My reference image. No, no. My mistake. There is a hot staging ring shown in there. So that's interesting. So it's giving me the overall height. Oh, for one thing, it's a different hot staging ring because I'm doing version 2. I'm sorry, I'm doing flight 3 to start. Right? So I need a hot staging ring. So let's see, did these add up? They add up. So the hot staging ring is considered, I'm going to have to fudge in the hot staging ring. But anyway, that's enough for now. I'm going to call this perfect enough for now. I'm going to turn off my, let me do a quick render here. Let me turn on my render photo view. And yeah, render tools and integrated preview. That'll be fun. Turn on perspective. And mildly interesting. That's not very black. But anyway, that's enough for this video. I've had enough of it. And so stay tuned and we'll do some more work on this. No rush on getting this done. Just wanted to get started and see how it goes. And in the next one, I guess I will get some more reference images to see how things are shaped. Add some grid fins. Add some basic motors and like chines and various exterior plumbing and things like that, and whatever else I come up with. Maybe add a little detail to the orbital launch mount. But let me know in the comments if you have anything you want to see on there next. Anyway, I can make it do things more interestingly. Any feedback would be appreciated. And anyway, stay tuned.